The bullet shattered the window 2 inches from Kang Miho's head. Glass exploded inward. He dropped to the floor instantly, years of survival instinct kicking in. His hand went to the gun at his waist. His security team would be here in seconds, but seconds were all it took to die. Another shot. This one hit the wall behind him. Whoever was shooting knew exactly where he was. They'd been watching, waiting. Miho crawled across the floor of his office, staying low. His mind raced. The Kim family? The Russians? Someone new trying to make a name? It didn't matter right now. What mattered was getting out alive. He reached the panic button under his desk and slammed it. Alarms screamed through the house. Steel shutters began rolling down over every window. His security team burst through the door, weapons drawn. "Boss, we need to move you to the safe room." Jae-sung, his head of security, shouted over the alarms. "Find the shooter first," Miho ordered, getting to his feet. "I want them alive." "Sir, protocol says." "I don't care about protocol. Someone just tried to kill me in my own home. Find them." 3 men ran out. Miho straightened his jacket, ignoring the adrenaline pumping through his veins. This wasn't his first assassination attempt. It wouldn't be his last. That was the price of power in his world. But something felt wrong about this. The timing, the location. Someone had gotten too close. He walked to the shattered window, careful to stay to the side. His estate stretched out below, all pristine gardens and high walls. Somewhere out there, a shooter had set up position, had watched him, had pulled the trigger. "Boss?" Jae-sung's voice came through his earpiece. "We found the position. Rooftop 3 buildings down. Shooters gone. Professional setup. Clean exit. Cameras. Already checking." Miho's jaw clenched. Professional hit. That narrowed it down, but not by much. He had enough enemies to fill a small country. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. He answered without hesitation. "You missed," he said coldly. A distorted voice laughed on the other end. "Did I? Check your dining room, Kang Miho. Maybe I hit exactly what I was aiming for." The line went dead. Miho's blood turned to ice. The dining room, the opposite side of the house. If the shots were a distraction, he ran. His men followed, confused, weapons ready. Miho's heart pounded as he sprinted through the hallways of his mansion. The dining room. Why the dining room? No one used it. He always ate in his office or... He burst through the dining room doors and froze. The long table that usually sat empty was full. His housekeeper, Maya, sat at the head. She was a young black woman, maybe 27, with rich dark skin and worried eyes. Around her sat 3 little girls, maybe 4 years old. Identical. Exactly the same. Beautiful brown skin. Curly dark hair pulled into 3 ponytails. Small faces that were somehow both unfamiliar and achingly familiar. Asian-shaped eyes but deeper set. Full lips. High cheekbones. And those eyes. That specific shade of dark brown with flecks of amber. The same eyes he saw in the mirror every morning. The same rare genetic trait that ran in his family. His grandfather had them. His father had them. He had them. And now, staring back at him from 3 tiny, terrified faces, he saw them again. The girls were crying. Maya held them close, her own face pale with fear. When she saw Miho, she looked like she might pass out. "What?" Miho started. But Jae-sung cut him off. "Boss, the room is secure. Windows intact. No breach here." The distorted voice on the phone echoed in Miho's head. "Check your dining room. Maybe I hit exactly what I was aiming for." They hadn't been shooting at him. They'd been sending a message, telling him to look, to find this. "Everyone out," Miho said quietly. "Now." "Sir." "Out." His men filed out, exchanging confused glances. Jae-sung hesitated at the door. "I'll be right outside." The door closed. Silence fell over the dining room. Just Miho, Maya, and 3 little girls who had his eyes in faces that were clearly mixed. black and Korean, beautiful and impossible. One of the girls, braver than her sisters, wiped her tears and looked up at him. Why were there loud noises? We got scared. Her voice was small but steady. American accent. Miho found he couldn't speak, couldn't move, couldn't process what he was seeing. Maya stood slowly, positioning herself between him and the girls. Mr. Kong, I can explain. Please, just let me explain. Start talking, Miho said. His voice came out harsh, cold. Now, before we continue, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from, and hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you need to see where this goes. Now back to the story. Maya's hands shook as she knelt back down, keeping the girls close. Their mother's name was Ji-hai. You met her 4 years ago. Miho's mind raced backward. For years. That was around the time the Park family had betrayed him. The bloodiest year of his life. Dozens of his men dead. Territory wars. Constant movement. Constant danger. I don't remember anyone named Ji-hai. You wouldn't, Maya said quietly. It was only one night. At a hotel bar. You were hiding from someone. She was working as a cocktail waitress. She said you looked hunted. Desperate. A memory flickered. Vague, distant. A hotel bar. A woman with kind eyes and beautiful dark skin. He'd been on the run, waiting for his men to secure a safe house. He'd needed to disappear for a few hours. She'd served him whiskey and asked if he was okay. They talked. One thing led to another. One night, he repeated. One night, Maya confirmed. She got pregnant. Triplets. She never told you. She was terrified. Of what? Of you. Maya's voice broke. Of your world. She knew who you were. What you did. She thought if she told you, you'd either not believe her or take the babies away. Or worse, that your enemies would find out and use them against you. Miho stared at the 3 girls. His daughters. His blood. Hidden from him for 4 years. Why are you telling me now? Maya's face crumbled. Because Ji-hai is dead. 6 months ago. Someone killed her. The room spun. What? She was murdered. Stabbed 7 times in an alley behind her apartment. The police said it was a robbery, but nothing was taken. Not her purse. Not her jewelry, nothing. Tears streamed down Maya's face. She was my best friend. My sister in every way that mattered. And she made me promise if anything happened to her, I'd protect the girls. Keep them safe. So you came to work for me. I had to. I didn't know what else to do. Maya's voice was desperate now. Ji-hai told me about you. Showed me your picture. Said if anything ever happened to her. These girls' father was the only person powerful enough to protect them. But she also said you were dangerous. That your world was dangerous. So I had to be sure. Sure of what? Sure you wouldn't hurt them. Sure you'd care. Sure bringing them to you wouldn't be worse than keeping them hidden. She wiped her eyes. I took this job 6 months ago, right after Ji-hai died. I've been watching you, trying to figure out if you were safe for them, if you'd help or hurt them. But then I saw how many enemies you have, how many people want you dead, and I got scared. I thought keeping them secret was safer. Miho felt like he'd been punched in the chest. A dead woman he barely remembered. 3 daughters he never knew existed. A woman who'd infiltrated his home out of loyalty to her friend. Someone knows, he said slowly. The shooter. The phone call. Someone knows about them and wanted me to find out. Maya's face went white. What? This wasn't random. Someone orchestrated this whole thing. They wanted me to discover the girls. His mind raced through possibilities. How many people know they exist? Just me and one of Ji-hai's cousins back in the States. No one else. I've been so careful. I never bring them here during the day. Only at night when everyone's asleep. I keep them in the small apartment above the garage. No one goes there. How could anyone? Not careful enough. Miho pulled out his phone and called Jae-sung. I need a full security sweep. Check for any surveillance equipment in the house. Cameras, microphones, anything. And pull up any information you can find on a woman named Jihai. Black woman, American, murdered 6 months ago. He hung up and looked at the girls again. They were watching him with wide, cautious eyes. The brave one still had tears on her cheeks, but she wasn't crying anymore. She studied him like she was trying to figure him out. "What are their names?" he asked. Maya wiped her eyes. "Hannah, Yuna, and Mina. Jihai gave them Korean names because of you. Hannah is the oldest by 2 minutes. Yuna is in the middle. Mina is the youngest." "Hannah," Miho said, looking at the brave one. She nodded. Of course she was the oldest. She had that protective instinct already, even at 4. "Are you our daddy?" Hannah asked suddenly. The question hit him harder than any bullet ever had. Maya gasped. "Hannah, we talked about this. Mama Jihai said we have a daddy somewhere," Hannah continued, ignoring Maya. "She said he didn't know about us because she was scared. Are you him? You have the same eyes as us. And Maya said you're Korean like half of us." Miho crouched down, bringing himself to eye level with them. Up close, the resemblance was undeniable. They had his eyes, his nose, the shape of his face mixed with their mother's features. His genes stamped all over them alongside hers. Beautiful Blasian faces staring back at him. "Yes," he said quietly. "I'm your father." Yuna, the middle one, tilted her head. Her curls bounced. "Why didn't you come find us before?" "Because I didn't know you existed. If I had known, I would have come immediately." "Promise." Mina, the youngest, whispered. "I promise." The girls looked at each other, having some silent conversation only siblings could have. Then Hannah nodded, apparently making a decision for all 3 of them. "Okay, you can be our daddy then." Despite everything, despite the bullets and the death and the danger, Miho felt something crack open in his chest. Something he thought died years ago when he fully committed to this life. "Thank you," he said. The door burst open. Jae-sung rushed in, tablet in hand. "Boss, you need to see this." Miho stood, his body automatically moving between the girls and any potential threat. "What?" "We found surveillance equipment. 12 cameras hidden throughout the house. They've been here for at least 3 months. Jae-sung's face was grim. "Someone's been watching everything. Can you trace them?" "We're trying, but they're sophisticated. Military grade." He paused, glancing at Maya and the girls with confusion. "And boss, I found the information on Jihai. You're not going to like it." "Show me." Jae-sung pulled up a police report. Photos of a crime scene. A black woman lying in an alley. Beautiful even in death. Miho recognized her vaguely. The kind eyes now empty. 7 stab wounds, like she said. But look at this. He zoomed in on one of the wounds. The angle, the precision. This wasn't a random attack. This was an execution made to look like a mugging. Who? I don't know yet. But whoever killed her was a professional. And look at the date. 6 months ago. 3 days after the Lee family tried to take over your southern territories. Miho's blood ran cold. The Lee family, one of his biggest rivals. If they'd found out about Jihai, about the girls, they're using them as leverage, he said. They killed the mother as a warning. Now they're making sure I know the children exist so they can threaten them. That's what I'm thinking. Increase security. Triple it. I want men on every entrance, every window, every possible access point. And get me everything we have on the Lee family's recent movements. Yes, sir. Jae-sung left. Miho turned back to find Maya on her feet. The girls clutched behind her. We need to leave, she said desperately. If what you're saying is true, if someone killed Jihai because of you, then the girls aren't safe here. I need to take them somewhere far away. No, but you think running will keep them safe? Whoever killed your friend found her in whatever hiding place she chose. They've been watching my house for 3 months. They know who the girls are, where you are. He crossed to her, his voice firm but not unkind. The only place they're safe now is with me. Here, where I can protect them. Your world got their mother killed, and your world couldn't save her. The words came out harsher than he intended. He softened his tone. I'm sorry, but facts are facts. Someone targeted Jihai because of her connection to me. Now they're targeting the girls for the same reason. The difference is, I have the resources to keep them alive. Do you? Maya's face crumpled. She knew he was right. She'd been struggling for 6 months, trying to protect 3 children on a housekeeper's salary, trying to hide them in plain sight. I won't lose them, she whispered. They're all I have left of Jihai. I promised her. I swore I'd keep them safe. You won't lose them, but you can't do this alone anymore. He looked down at the 3 girls. None of us can. Hannah stepped forward, taking his hand. Her small brown fingers wrapped around his. Are the loud noises going to come back? No, Miho said. I won't let anyone hurt you. Promise. I promise. She squeezed his hand. Okay, we believe you. Such simple faith. Such easy trust. Terrified him. The next few days were chaos. Miho had his entire estate fortified. More guards, better weapons, security systems that could detect a fly landing on the fence. He moved the girls and Maya into the wing of the house closest to his own quarters. Had their rooms fitted with panic buttons and reinforced doors. Maya fought him on everything at first. They're not your property. You can't just decide everything. I'm deciding to keep them alive. If you have better ideas, I'm listening. She didn't, just glared at him with those fierce eyes. But she stayed, because she knew he was right. He also started spending time with them. Real time. Not just checking that they were alive, but actually being present. It was harder than any negotiation he'd ever done. Why is your skin different from ours? Yuna asked one morning at breakfast. She touched his arm, then her own. You're lighter, because your mother had darker skin. You got some from her, some from me. So we're mixed up? Mixed. Yes. You're black and Korean. Both. The best of both. Mama Jihai said being mixed makes us special, Hannah added. She said we get to be everything. Your mother was right. Maya watched from across the table, her expression unreadable. Later, she pulled him aside. Don't make promises you can't keep, she said. What promises? That being mixed is all beautiful and special. They're going to face things. People who don't accept them. Who say they're not Korean enough, not black enough. Your world especially. How do you think your people will react to 3 mixed daughters? My people will accept what I tell them to accept. And if they don't, then they're not my people anymore. He met her eyes. I don't care what color my daughters are. They're mine. Anyone who has a problem with that can take it up with me. Something shifted in Maya's expression. Respect, maybe, or surprise. Mina, the quiet one, barely spoke, but she watched everything. Her eyes tracked every movement, every person who came and went. She reminded Miho of himself as a child. Always observing, always calculating. Hannah, the brave one, asked a million questions. Why did he work at night? Why did scary men come to talk to him? Why did everyone call him boss? Why didn't he smile more? Because there's not much to smile about, he'd answered honestly. That's sad, Hannah had said. You should smile more. Mama Jihai said smiling is free medicine. He'd tried. His face didn't remember how. But the biggest surprise came a week after the shooting. Miho was in his office, reviewing security footage, when Hannah walked in. Alone. Maya usually kept them close, but somehow she'd slipped away. Hi, she said, climbing into the chair across from his desk. Her curls bounced as she settled in. Hi, does Maya know you're here? No, I'm sneaky. She grinned, proud of herself. I wanted to talk to you. About what? She folded her hands on the desk, suddenly serious. About the bad men. Miho's attention sharpened. What bad men? The ones who came to see Mama Jihai before she died. Every nerve in his body went on alert. Tell me everything. Start from the beginning. Hannah took a breath. We lived in a small apartment. It was cozy. Mama worked a lot, but she always came home and did our hair and read us stories. One day, two men knocked on the door. Mama told us to go in the bedroom and be very, very quiet. But I peeked through the crack. Did you see the men? Yes. One was tall with a scar on his face. Asian like you. The other was shorter and mean-looking. Also Asian. What did they want? They were asking Mama questions. About you. About if she ever saw you. If she told you about us. Mama said no to everything. She said you didn't even remember her and that she never wanted to see you again. But they didn't believe her. Miho's hands clenched into fists. What happened then? The tall one grabbed Mama's arm. Hard. She cried out. He said she better be telling the truth. That if Kong Miho found out about the three mixed girls, it would be bad for everyone. Especially for the girls. Then they left. Hannah's eyes filled with tears. 2 days later, Mama didn't come home. Maya came instead and said Mama went to heaven. Hannah, Miho said gently, why didn't you tell Maya this before? Because I was scared. And Maya said not to talk about Mama to anyone. She said it was safer if we pretended to forget. Hannah wiped her eyes. But I can't forget. I remember everything. Every single thing I see and hear. My brain keeps it all like pictures. Everything. Everything. Maya says it's a gift, but sometimes it feels bad. Because I remember Mama's face when that man hurt her. I remember everything. Photographic memory. 4 years old. Miho's mind raced with the implications. Can you describe the men again? Every detail you remember. Hannah nodded and proceeded to give a description so detailed it was like she was reading from a photograph. Height, weight, clothing, scars, even the brand of watch one of them wore. The color of their shoelaces. A tattoo on one man's wrist. When she finished, Miho called Jae-sung immediately. Get in here. Now. His head of security arrived in seconds. Miho had Hannah repeat everything she told him. Jae-sung's face went dark. The descriptions matched two Lee family enforcers. Kim Sung-ho and Park Dae-young. Known for intimidation and cleanup work. Find them, Miho ordered. I want them alive. I want to know everything they know about who ordered the hit on Jihai. Yes, sir. After Jae-sung left, Miho looked at Hannah. She sat in the big chair, looking small and scared and far too young to have witnessed what she had. You're very brave, he told her, and very smart. What you just did will help me find the people who hurt your mother. Will you hurt them back? He could lie, should lie. She was 4 years old. But something about those knowing eyes made him tell the truth. Yes. Good. Her little face was fierce. They were bad. They made Mama scared. Nobody should make Mamas scared. Nobody should, he agreed. Will you make us scared? Never. Maya is scared of you sometimes. I can tell. I know. I'm trying to fix that. You should smile at her more. That's what Mama Jihai did when we were scared. She smiled and it made everything feel better. Out of the mouths of babes. I'll try, Miho said. Okay. Hannah climbed down from the chair. I'm going to go play now. We're having a tea party. You can come if you want. Maybe later. Okay. Bye, Dragon Daddy. She skipped out. Miho sat in silence, processing everything. His 4-year-old daughter had just provided intelligence that his entire security team couldn't get. She had a photographic memory that could be incredibly useful or incredibly dangerous depending on who knew about it. And she trusted him, despite everything. Despite the violence and the danger and the world he lived in. She trusted him. He couldn't fail her. Couldn't fail any of them. His phone buzzed. Another unknown number. He answered. Did you like our gift? The same distorted voice from before. If you touch them, I'll burn your entire family to the ground, Miho said calmly. So protective already. How sweet. But you should know something, Kong Miho. Those girls? They're not just your weakness. They're your liability. Mixed-race daughters from a dead woman. Everyone knows now. Everyone knows how to hurt you. Then everyone will learn what happens when they try. We'll see. The voice laughed. By the way, you might want to check on the middle one. Yuna, isn't it? Such a sweet child with those pretty curls. It would be a shame if something happened to her. The line went dead. Miho was running before his conscious mind caught up. He tore through the house, his heart in his throat. The girls' room. He had to get to the girls' room. He burst through the door to find Maya on the floor, unconscious. Blood trickled from a wound on her head. Hannah and Mina were huddled in the corner, crying. Yuna was gone. If you're hooked on this story, hit that like button and subscribe. Drop a comment telling me what you think happened to Yuna. Now let's find out. Where is she? Miho demanded, dropping to his knees in front of Hannah and Mina. Where's your sister? A man came through the window, Hannah sobbed. He grabbed Yuna and jumped back out. Maya tried to stop him, but he hit her really hard. Miho's blood turned to ice. They'd taken her. Right out of his house. Under his protection. He hit the panic button. Alarms screamed. Within seconds, Jae-sung and a dozen armed men filled the room. Get a medic for Maya. Now. And lock down the entire estate. No one in or out. Someone just kidnapped my daughter. Chaos erupted. Men ran in every direction. Medics rushed in to treat Maya. Miho scooped up Hannah and Mina, holding them close. Their curly hair pressed against his chest as they sobbed. I've got you, he said. You're safe. But Yuna's not, Hannah cried. The bad man took Yuna. I'll get her back. I promise. His phone buzzed again. A video message this time. With shaking hands, he opened it. Yuna sat in a dark room, crying. Her curls were messy, her face streaked with tears. A man stood behind her, face covered. His voice came through distorted. You have 24 hours to transfer complete control of your southern territories to the Lee family. If you don't, the girl dies. If you call the police, she dies. If you try to find us, she dies. Do exactly what we say, and maybe she lives. Maybe. The video ended. Rage filled every cell of Miho's body. Pure, focused rage. They'd taken his daughter, his child, his blood. They were dead. Every single one of them. But first, he had to get Yuna back. Get everyone in the war room, he ordered Jae-sung. Call in every favor we have. I want the Lee family's locations, their patterns, everything. And get me a direct line to Lee Jin-woo. Boss, if we contact them directly, do it. 10 minutes later, Miho sat in his war room surrounded by his top men. Monitors showed live feeds from across the city. Surveillance on known Lee family properties. Traffic cameras. Everything. Maya was there too. Awake now with a bandage on her head. She'd refused to stay in bed. Where's my girl? Where's Yuna? We're finding her, Miho said. Talk, he ordered his men. One of his intelligence officers pulled up a map. The Lee family has 6 known properties. 3 in the city, 3 outside. Based on the video's background noise and lighting, we think they're holding her in the warehouse district. Probably the old textile factory they bought last year. How certain? 70%. Not good enough. What else? We've been monitoring their communications. There's been a lot of chatter in the last hour. They're expecting you to move. They've doubled security on all their properties. Jae-sung leaned forward. Boss, this could be a trap. They take one girl, demand the territories, and when you show up to negotiate, they take you out. Get all 3 girls and eliminate you in one move. I know. I'm counting on it. What? Miho stood, his mind already 3 steps ahead. They think I'll come personally, that I'll be emotional and reckless. They're wrong. I'm going to be smart. He looked at his men. Here's what we're going to do. He laid out his plan. It was risky. It was aggressive. It was exactly what the Lee family wouldn't expect. Maya grabbed his arm. You're going to get yourself killed. No. I'm going to get our daughter back. Our daughter. You've been protecting them for 6 months. You infiltrated my home out of loyalty to your friend. Your family now. That makes them ours. Something broke in Maya's expression. Relief and fear and gratitude all at once. 2 hours later, Miho sat in his car outside the old textile factory. Alone. Unarmed. Exactly as the Lee family had demanded. His phone rang. Lee Jinwoo himself this time, no distortion. Kang Miho. I'm surprised you actually came. You have my daughter. What did you expect? I expected you to try something stupid. Send your men. Start a war. But you actually followed instructions. I'm impressed. Where is she? Inside. Come in the front door. Slowly. We'll be watching. Miho got out of the car and walked toward the factory. Every instinct screamed trap. But he kept moving. For Yuna. For his daughter who didn't deserve any of this. The front door was open. He stepped inside. The warehouse was dark except for a single light in the center. Under it, tied to a chair, was Yuna. She was crying but alive. Unharmed. Her curls fell in her face. Relief flooded through him. Short-lived relief. Welcome, Kang Miho. Lee Jinwoo stepped out of the shadows, flanked by a dozen armed men. Let's talk business. Let her go first. Not how this works. First, you sign the papers transferring your territories. Then maybe the girl lives. And if I don't sign? Lee Jinwoo smiled. Then we send pieces of her back to you, starting with her fingers. Though I have to say, I wasn't expecting your secret daughters to be mixed. A black woman? Really? That's quite the scandal waiting to happen. Miho's rage was a living thing, barely contained. But he showed none of it. Just cold calculation. Fine. Show me the papers. Lee looked surprised. Just like that? No fight. I'm a businessman. I know when I'm beaten. He let defeat color his voice. You win. I lose. Let's just get this over with so I can take my daughter home. Papers appeared. Legal documents transferring territory rights. Miho scanned them quickly. As expected, they were legitimate. Binding. Lee Jinwoo wasn't taking chances. Sign, Lee ordered. Miho picked up the pen. Looked at Yuna still crying in the chair. Looked at the men surrounding him. One thing first, he said. What? You killed Jihai, the girl's mother. Why? Lee laughed. Insurance. We've been watching you for years. Waiting for a weakness. Then we found her. Black cocktail waitress with 3 mixed kids. We killed her to make sure only we knew the secret. Then we watched. Waited for the right moment to use it. That moment is now. I see. So you've been planning this for 6 months. Longer. We've been patient. And it's about to pay off. Patience is good. Miho smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. But so is preparation. He dropped the pen. All hell broke loose. The lights cut out. Gunfire erupted from the rafters. From the shadows. From every dark corner. Miho's men, already in position for hours, opened fire. Miho dove for Yuna. Bullets screamed overhead. He reached her chair and cut her bonds with a knife he'd hidden in his sleeve. Never unarmed. Not really. Close your eyes, he told her. Don't look. She buried her face in his chest as he ran for the exit. His men provided cover. Lee Jinwoo's guards were well-trained, but they'd been caught off guard. They'd expected a broken man, not a trap. Miho made it to the door. Car screeched up. He threw Yuna inside and dove in after her. The car sped away as the warehouse exploded behind them in a carefully planted series of charges. In the car, Yuna clung to him, sobbing. I was so scared. I wanted you to come, but I was scared you wouldn't. I'll always come, Miho promised. Always. Are the bad men gone? Yes, they're gone. Not all of them. Lee Jinwoo had escaped in the chaos. But his organization was crippled. His men were scattered or dead. It would be years before the Lee family could threaten anyone again. If Miho let them live that long. Back at the estate, Maya met them at the door. She had a bandage on her head, but she was conscious. When she saw Yuna, she burst into tears and pulled all three girls into a fierce hug. "I'm so sorry," she sobbed. "I should have protected you better. I should have." "You did protect them," Miho interrupted. "You kept them alive for 6 months when you had no resources and no support. You did everything you could. It wasn't enough. It was. It brought them to me, and now we'll protect them together." Maya looked up at him with red, swollen eyes. "Together. Together. You're their family. Jihai chose you to protect them. That makes you my family too." Something shifted between them. An understanding. They were allies now. Partners in keeping these three girls alive in a world that wanted to use them. Over the next few weeks, life fell into a new rhythm. Miho had the estate transformed. Security tripled again. Guards who were former military trained in child protection. Safe rooms that could withstand anything. Escape routes and backup plans for every possible scenario. But he also made it a home. Had the cold, empty rooms filled with toys and colors and laughter. Hired teachers so the girls could learn in safety. Had a playground built in the most secure part of the grounds. He spent every morning with them before work. Every evening. Taught them things they'd need to know to survive in his world while trying desperately to give them a childhood. Maya taught them about their black heritage. Did their hair in intricate styles. Told them stories about their mother. Made sure they knew where they came from. Together, they gave the girls everything. Both sides of their identity. Both worlds. Hannah, with her photographic memory, soaked up everything. She memorized faces, patterns, details. Miho realized she could be an incredible asset one day, if she chose to be, but that would be her choice. Yuna, after her kidnapping, became clingy. She had nightmares, didn't want to be alone. So Miho had a small bed put in his office where she could nap while he worked. She felt safer there. He didn't mind. Mina, the quiet one, started talking more. Slowly, carefully, but she talked. She asked questions about what he did, why he did it, how he stayed safe. She was already thinking like someone in his world. It broke his heart a little. Maya watched all of it with cautious hope. She'd moved into the family wing officially, not as a housekeeper anymore, but as their guardian, their mother in every way that mattered. "They're changing you," she said one evening. The girls were in bed. She and Miho sat in his office, reviewing security updates. "What do you mean? You smile now, sometimes. You used to never smile." Hannah said the same thing. "She's a smart girl. They all are." Maya hesitated. "What happens when they get older? When they start asking harder questions about what you do? About why people look at them funny because they're mixed?" "I'll tell them the truth. The whole truth. As much as they can handle. I won't lie to them. They deserve to know who their father is, what world they come from, and they deserve to know they're perfect exactly as they are. Black and Korean. Both. Beautiful. And if they reject you, reject this life." Miho was quiet for a long moment. "Then I'll make sure they have enough resources to leave safely, to build whatever life they want, far away from all this." "You'd let them go?" "I'd do anything for them." He looked at her. "You know that by now." Maya's eyes filled with tears. "Jihai would be glad. She was so scared to tell you. But if she could see this, see how you love them, she'd be glad. I wish I'd known sooner. I wish I'd been there. You're here now. That's what matters." A comfortable silence fell between them. Outside, guards patrolled. Security systems monitored every inch of the property. The girls slept safely in their beds. For the first time in years, Miho felt something close to peace. It didn't last. 3 days later, his worst fear came true. Miho was in a meeting when Jae-sung burst in, his face white. Boss, we have a problem. What? It's Mina. She's sick. Really sick. We called the doctor, but he says she needs to go to the hospital. Now. Miho was moving before he finished speaking. He found Mina in her room, barely conscious, burning with fever. Maya held her, terrified. How long? Miho demanded. She started feeling bad this morning, Maya said. I thought it was just a cold, but then she got worse so fast. The doctor, a man on Miho's payroll who treated more bullet wounds than fevers, checked her vitals. Her heart rate is irregular. Her breathing is labored. This isn't a cold. She needs a hospital with pediatric specialists. Then let's go. Boss, Jae-sung said carefully. If we take her to a hospital, people will see. Questions will be asked. Her existence will be exposed. I don't care. But, I said I don't care. Miho's voice was sharp enough to cut. My daughter is dying. Nothing else matters. Get the car. They moved fast. Mina wrapped in blankets in Miho's arms. Maya and the other two girls close behind. A convoy of vehicles providing security. At the hospital, money and influence got them a private room immediately. Specialists were called in. Tests were run. Miho paced the hallway like a caged animal. This was worse than any gunfight, any negotiation. He couldn't threaten death into submission, couldn't buy off disease. He was powerless, and he hated it. After what felt like hours, the doctor emerged. Mr. Kong, we need to talk. They moved to a private office. Maya came too, leaving Hannah and Yuna with guards. What's wrong with her? Miho asked. The doctor pulled up scans on a computer. Your daughter has a congenital heart defect, specifically ventricular septal defect with complications. There's a hole in the wall between her heart's lower chambers. Maya gasped. How is that possible? She's been fine. No problems. VSD can be asymptomatic for years, but stress, illness, or just growth can make it worse. In Mina's case, the hole is getting bigger. Her heart is working too hard to compensate. What do we do? Miho asked. She needs surgery. Soon. Within the next few months at most. We'll need to patch the hole, possibly replace some valves depending on the damage. It's a complex procedure, but the success rate is good. How good? 85 to 90% with a skilled surgical team. 10 to 15% chance of death. Miho heard nothing else. What does she need? Best surgeons in the world. I'll pay anything. I'll fly anyone here or take her anywhere. The best pediatric cardiac surgeon in Korea is Dr. Park Sun-hee. She's here in Seoul. She's done hundreds of these procedures. I can call her. Call her. Now, tell her whatever she wants, she gets. Money, resources, anything. Just save my daughter. The doctor made the call. Dr. Park agreed to consult the next day. Until then, Mina would be stabilized and monitored. Miho went back to her room. She lay in the hospital bed, so small and pale. Her brown skin looked ashen. Her curls spread across the white pillow. Tubes and wires connected her to machines that beeped steadily. Hannah and Yuna sat on either side, holding her hands. When they saw Miho, they looked up with terrified eyes. Is Mina going to die? Hannah asked. The question punched him in the gut. No, we're going to fix her heart. Make her all better. Promise. I promise. But promises didn't matter to biology. To defective hearts and complicated surgeries. He could promise all he wanted. It didn't mean he could deliver. Maya pulled him aside later that night. The girls were finally asleep. Hannah and Yuna curled up on a couch in Mina's room. I knew, Maya whispered. What? About Mina's heart. Jihai found out when the girls were 2. She was saving money for the surgery, but she died before she had enough. Tears streamed down her face. I've been trying to save up too, but on my salary it would have taken years. I didn't know how to tell you. Didn't know if you'd care or if you'd just what? Let her die. He wasn't angry, just tired. What kind of monster do you think I am? I don't know anymore. A month ago, you were just a name. A dangerous man who I had to protect the girls from. Now you're their father. You care about them. You're trying. It's confusing. Welcome to my world. I've been confused since the day I found out they existed. He looked through the window at his daughters. But one thing I'm not confused about. I will do whatever it takes to keep them alive. All of them, no matter what it costs. The surgery is expensive, even with insurance. I don't care about the cost. I care about results. Mina will have the surgery. She'll have the best care. And she'll survive. He said it like he could will it into existence. Like his determination alone could change medical outcomes. Maybe it could. He'd beaten worse odds before. The next day, Dr. Park Sun-hee arrived. She was a woman in her 50s, sharp-eyed and confident. She reviewed Mina's scans and examined her thoroughly. The defect is significant but reparable, she said. We'll need to do open heart surgery. Repair the hole, possibly replace a valve. Recovery will take months. But if all goes well, she'll live a normal, healthy life. And if things don't go well? Miho asked. Complications could include infection, blood clots, or heart failure. In the worst case, we could lose her on the table. Brutal honesty. He appreciated that. When? I can schedule it for next week. But Mr. Kong, you need to understand. This is one of the most stressful surgeries for a parent to endure. You'll be helpless. All you can do is wait and hope. Are you prepared for that? No. He wasn't prepared to sit and do nothing while his daughter's chest was cut open, while her heart was stopped and restarted, while she balanced on the edge of life and death. But he'd do it. For her. Schedule it, he said. The next week was hell. Miho tried to keep things normal for the girls. Hannah and Yuna knew something was wrong, but he downplayed it. Told them Mina would have a special procedure to fix her heart and then she'd be all better. They didn't fully understand. They were 4 years old. How could they? Mina herself was quiet. More than usual. Like she knew something big was coming. The night before the surgery, Miho sat with all 3 girls in Mina's hospital room. They'd been moved to a private suite. More space, more comfort. Money couldn't buy health, but it could buy everything else. Tell us a story, Yuna asked. What kind of story? A dragon story, Hannah said, about how dragons protect their treasures. So Miho told them a story he made up on the spot, about a dragon who had 3 precious gems, the dragon's greatest treasures, and how he'd fight anyone who tried to take them, burn down kingdoms, cross oceans, do anything to keep his gems safe. By the end, all 3 girls were asleep, curled up together like puppies, their different shades of brown skin beautiful in the soft light. Maya watched from the doorway. That was a good story. It's the truth. They're my treasures. All 3 of them. Jihai used to tell them stories too. She had a gift for it. Made even scary things sound magical. Her voice broke. I miss her. Especially now. She should be here. This should be her sitting beside Mina's bed. Not me. She'd be proud of you. Of everything you've done. Would she? I kept them secret from their father. I let Mina's condition get this bad. I failed. You survived. You kept them alive when you had nothing. You didn't fail. You gave them to me when they needed me most. Tell that to Mina when she goes under anesthesia tomorrow. He had no answer to that. The surgery was scheduled for 8 a.m. They arrived early. Mina was prepped, given medication to make her drowsy. The surgical team reviewed everything one more time. Dr. Park took Miho aside. We'll do everything we can, but you need to be prepared. This is major surgery. Things can go wrong. They won't. Mr. Kong. They won't. He repeated, his voice hard. Because if my daughter dies on that table, there will be consequences. Understand. Dr. Park's expression cooled. Are you threatening me? I'm stating facts. You're the best. You'll save her. Because the alternative is unacceptable. For a long moment, they stared at each other. Then Dr. Park nodded slowly. I'll do my best. That's all I can promise. Your best will be enough. It had to be. They wheeled Mina away. She looked so small on the gurney, so fragile. Her curls spread across the pillow. She waved at them with one tiny hand. Bye, Dragon Daddy. Bye, Mama Maya. Bye, sisters. Then she was gone through the double doors. Waiting was torture. Hours crawled by. Miho paced. Maya sat with Hannah and Yuna, reading them stories, playing games, anything to distract them. His phone buzzed constantly. Business didn't stop because his world was falling apart. But he ignored it all. Nothing mattered except the girl in surgery. For hours. 5, 6. Finally, Dr. Park emerged. She looked exhausted but satisfied. It's done. The surgery went well. We repaired the hole, reinforced the surrounding tissue. Her heart is strong. She's in recovery now. Relief hit Miho so hard he almost collapsed. She's okay? She'll need to stay here for a week. Then months of careful recovery at home. But yes, she's okay. Maya burst into tears. Hannah and Yuna jumped up and down, not fully understanding but knowing it was good news. Can we see her? Miho asked. Soon. She's still sedated. Give her another hour. That hour was easier to bear than the previous 6. Because now he knew. Mina would live. His daughter would survive. When they finally let him in, Mina lay in the recovery room surrounded by monitors. A bandage covered her chest. She looked pale and small but alive. So beautifully alive. He took her hand gently. You did it, little gem. You're so strong. Her eyes fluttered open. Dragon Daddy? I'm here. Did they fix my heart? Yes. It's all better now. Good. She smiled weakly. I don't want to leave you yet. We just found you. His eyes burned. You're not going anywhere. None of you are. You're stuck with me forever. Okay. She drifted back to sleep, safe and whole. If the story touched your heart, show some love. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and comment telling me which part got you most emotional. Your support means everything to us. 3 months later, life had settled into something resembling normal. Mina recovered beautifully. The scar on her chest would fade with time. Her energy returned. She ran and played with her sisters like nothing had ever been wrong. The estate was no longer just a fortress. It was a home, filled with laughter and arguments and the chaos of 3 young girls growing up. Maya had fully embraced her role as their mother. She and Miho co-parented with an efficiency that surprised both of them. They didn't always agree. She thought he was too protective. He thought she was too lenient. But they worked it out. For the girls, the threat from the Lee family never fully materialized again. After the warehouse incident, they'd retreated, licked their wounds. It would be years before they were strong enough to challenge him again. Other enemies circled. They always did. But now Miho had something to fight for beyond power and territory. He had a reason to come home. 3 reasons, actually. One evening, after putting the girls to bed, he found Maya in the garden. She stood looking at the flowers they'd planted together. Jihai's favorites. A memorial of sorts. I've been thinking, she said without turning around, about what Jihai would say if she could see all this. See them happy and safe. What would she say? Thank you. And maybe that she was wrong to be so afraid. You're not the monster she thought you were. Yes, I am, Miho said quietly. I've done terrible things. I'll do more. That won't change. But you love them. That changes everything. Does it? Yes. She finally looked at him. Because love makes monsters into fathers. Fear into protection. Violence into purpose. That's very poetic. I have my moments. She smiled. Jihai would have liked you if she'd given you a chance. I would have liked her too, if I'd remembered her. They stood in comfortable silence. The girls' laughter drifted from an open window above. Hannah was reading to her sisters. one of the dragon stories Miho had told them. What happens now? Maya asked. Now, we keep going. Keep them safe. Give them the best life we can in this crazy world. It won't be easy, especially with everything they'll face. Questions about their race, about being mixed, about their father's world. Nothing worth doing is. Will you ever tell them? Everything about what you do. When they're old enough to understand. When they ask. I won't hide who I am from them. They might hate you for it. They might. But they'll know the truth. That's more than I had. More laughter from above. Then Mina's voice, clear and strong. Dragon Daddy, come read with us. Miho smiled. Actually smiled. Duty calls. He headed inside. Maya watched him go. This dangerous man who'd become a father. This killer who tucked his daughters in at night and read them stories about dragons and gems. Life was strange, complicated, messy, but it was theirs, and they'd protect it with everything they had. Upstairs, 3 little girls waited for their father. Their dragon daddy who'd crossed through fire to find them and would burn the world down to keep them safe. 3 beautiful Blasian girls who were both black and Korean, who belonged to 2 worlds and fit perfectly in both. And in the shadows, guards patrolled. Security systems monitored. An empire ran on beneath the surface of this domestic scene. Because that was their reality. Violence and love. Danger and safety. The mafia and the family. Perfectly balanced. For now. And tomorrow they'd face whatever came. Together. The end.